So I don't know exactly how this message came to me about dreaming, but it seemed appropriate because dreams do kind of guide us sometimes, and it seems like we need a lot of guidance lately. So I thought, yeah, maybe somebody's telling me something. You know, the song "To Dream the Impossible Dream" from the musical Man of La Mancha is a very inspiring and hopeful song. The lyrics are quite, um, intentional and give you a sense of moving forward, of a quest beyond. It points to the importance of having lofty aspirations, hope beckoning us and urging us to keep moving forward, to keep going on. It isn't always easy to hold on to or continue to pursue our dreams. Life offers many distractions. Moving to the perimeter of our senses, we become occupied with the material world, making a living, paying our bills, owning a specific car, belonging to a particular club or in a neighborhood or a church. Illnesses, anger, resentment, regrets, loss. We kind of forget that we are essentially spiritual beings and that our real resources, our true fulfillments, are in the depths within ourselves. Within, deep within, is the actual fulfillment and the resource. Dreaming has the power to open us to question beyond what we experience in the material world and wake us to other possibilities. For a long time in human history, the phrase "reaching for the moon" was the impossible dream. Anytime someone suggested some impractical utopia, people would say, "You're just reaching for the moon." And yet, in our lifetime, there were those who began to conceive of a trip to the moon as possible. We saw the whole process unfold. We've landed humans on the moon several times, and through another impossible dream made possible, we were actually there ourselves by means of television. The impossible dreams of mankind have become the blueprints of our accomplishments. Airplanes flying through the air, cell phones, holographic images, and more. And as we discover more and more and more of our own inner nature, of our divine potential, we begin to realize that Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Muhammad, and others did what they did and achieved the overcomings that they achieved because they transcended the impossible, touched that dimension of life where things are possible. It was to this dimension of higher intelligence that Jesus pointed when he said that all things that I do, you can do too if you have faith. If you can believe in the transcendent nature within you, and if you can dream lofty dreams and believe your dreams can manifest your reality, you can do great things too. A 4th century BC Chinese philosopher named Cao Tsing wrote, "Once upon a time, I dreamed I was a butterfly. I was conscious only of following my fancies as a butterfly. Suddenly, I was awakened. Now, I do not know whether I was a man dreaming I was a butterfly or whether I am a butterfly now dreaming I am a man." According to Aristotle, dreams are a continuation of thought and give us a magnified construction of the world. Carl Jung's interpretation is that dreams are the psyche's attempt to communicate important messages to us. But all of their conclusions, and everyone else's, invite us to examine the nature of our reality, to explore where and how we might grow beyond it, and who we are beyond it. In 1923, Langston Hughes' short 8-line poem, Dreams, was first published in the magazine The World Tomorrow. And like many of his poems, it encourages the reader to hold on to their dreams and explains why it is important to do so. It reads, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is broken. Life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." The vitality of our life is greatly determined by the size and depth of our dreams. Dreaming transcends the impossible and guides us to live in our own divine potentiality. Jesus' life demonstrated the revelation of the divine capacity within all people. It wasn't so much a special act of God. He was dealing with and aligned with the flow of the creative process that is God. And that which he did was not something that could be done only through him, but a realization of the power in each and every one of us. He manifested heaven on earth. Heaven is a divine pattern unfolding within us. We are told and even taught that somehow these miracles are beyond our reach, beyond our reality. Maybe you've been told in your life that something you wanted to do or to achieve isn't possible for you for whatever reason. And though you may accept that as fact, it is not the truth. Many of us, through our religious and spiritual practices, have mouthed on Sunday in church great affirmations, such as, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." And then on Monday, we return to the uncertainty where "I can't" is the hallmark of consciousness. Please don't believe in that. Don't give up. Give in. Let go of the resistance to possibility. The door to that spiritual awakening to God, to the possible, only opens inward. Certainly, we all have things in our lives which seem beyond solution. Stop and think for a moment some of the stumbling blocks that face you. You'd probably say, yes, there are ills that apparently I cannot cure, habits that seemingly I cannot master, conflicts that I can't seem to harmonize. And we long to be able to overcome these giants that stand between us and our personal promised land. Perhaps we can all admit to ourselves that much of the time we are obsessed with the "I can't" consciousness. But I like this thought of Walt Whitman. "Oh, while I live to be the ruler of life and not a slave, to meet life as a powerful conqueror and nothing exterior shall ever take command of me." That's the possibility consciousness. The power of transcendence is not only within you, it is you. You are the help you seek. And that transcendence, that power, is in every person, irrespective of the giants of human experience. It's still there no matter what is going on. The problems may be great, but he that is within you is greater than he that is in the world. At different times in our lives, we often are unaware of this or forget this. However, in every case, at every moment, at every intersection, the awakened sense of transcendence is waiting for you, for me. To know that power in us, to know that that power is always there, is always equal to, will always enable us to rise above any situation we find ourselves. And therein lies happiness. Awakening to happiness happens when we raise ourselves above ourselves, beyond ourselves. Not going through life, but growing through life. We are living in a universe of limitless substance, a prosperous presence, right here, right now. Our journey is to awaken to it. It's not in what we encounter in the world, but rather what we discover in ourselves that's important. That is the vision that moves us forward. The vision that not only leads us to our promised land, but extends it, expands it, deepens it. I've often told this story about my starting a project called A Global Poem in Praise of Peace some 30 years ago, and how people from all over the world contributed lines of poetry, and some very famous people wrote as well. One of them was Leonard Bernstein, the conductor and composer of West Side Story and so much other glorious music. He wrote a full-page poem that he sent to me for this project and requested that we have lunch. During that lunch in 1989, just a year before he died, actually, he said something that changed the trajectory of my life. He told me that the artist is the one who has the vision that moves society forward. A light went off in my head when he said that. Somehow, a dream I didn't even realize I had woke me up, and I knew what I would do with the rest of my life. It also reminded me of a scripture. Now, when we were growing up, our parents required everyone at the dinner table to recite from memory a Bible verse during grace, so I know a lot of them. Anyway, those of you who remember my mother know that that's very true. Anyway, the scripture that came to my mind was Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people perish. That day, Leonard Bernstein either put a dream in my head or I was unaware that I already had this dream, and I've been manifesting it ever since. Dream consciousness is spirit expressing to you, through you, and as you, giving you a glimpse of what could be, presenting a path to change the present reality. When we dare to dream, we connect with that space of potentiality that awakens, expands, deepens our consciousness and fulfills our being. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and one day, this day, your rainbows will come shining through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish will come true. Those lyrics from the 1950 Disney Cinderella are transformational, hopeful. They're life affirming and remind us that the real problem in our lives is not that conditions become sordid and limited or chaotic, but that we let our dreams and our hopes fade away. We stop believing in them. Look back over your life and try to recall the things that you hoped for and dreamed for through all of your experiences. The great tragedy of life is that we allow these things to die within us, not realizing that they are the very lifeblood of us. The real test for your life or mine is not in what we have or in the fact that we're free from difficulty. The real test of our life is what we're looking up to, our visions, our hopes, our aspirations, our dreams. If you really want to uncover what's wrong with you, with me, what's wrong in our lives, spend some time and write down all the things that you're dreaming for and hoping for. Write down all of your aspirations, not what you once dreamed or aspired to. But right now, what are you dreaming for? What are you wanting? What are you wishing? What are you aspiring for, towards? Outline your vision for yourself and for the world. When you've completed your list, this will tell you a great deal about yourself. Because you will discover, if you've been honest, that there are yearnings that you have forgotten, that you have let slip away. And you may be surprised at how narrow your scope of aspiration has become, how little you're really looking forward to, how few things in your daily life you're really aspiring toward. Actually, the vitality of life is always indicated by the size and depth of one's dreams. This insight tells us that our basic desires or our dreams or our hopes are the prophets and the precursors of our future. And at least they indicate the potential and the readiness. As Emerson said, no hope so bright, but as the beginning of its own fulfillment. In a very real sense, our hopes, desires, and dreams are the very prophecies of what we can become. And if we continue to hold fast to them, as Langston Hughes reminded us, those prophecies will ultimately become reality. Envisioning and dreaming have such power for us. Engaging that power in us, that is us, is not a matter of creating power or gaining power, but a matter of releasement of our imprisoned splendor. This is the core of the whole system of metaphysics. This is what Jesus' teachings and demonstration is all about, releasing the dynamic flow that is always within, that is life itself, and all of its expression. Paul concludes in the 3rd chapter of Ephesians, verse 20, "Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we seek or think, according to the power that works in us." Notice the tense of the verb here. It's not past, the power that was available. It's not future power that may come into experience. It is here, now, within us. That power is working. This is God power. This is mind power. This is Christ power. It's the greatest power, the only power in the universe. Call it whatever you will. It's the power that works in you right now, that works as you. There is always this power in us, which, if we could discover it and fully use it, would make of everything we have ever dreamed or imagined a manifest reality. Each person is a whole being, even at the times we may appear to frustrate the wholeness. There is an awness, even in the apparent illness. Hope is visible in hopelessness. There is always a potential for life that is whole and limitless. What we are and where we are is not the total of who we are. Dreams often become the most important facts in the journey from impossible to possible, in understanding where we can go and going there. Dreams show us our eternity. And eternity is not length of years, but depth of experience. Every experience of being is some level of spiritual activity. Perhaps our greatest work as spiritual truth seekers here at Unity or wherever we are is selling dreams, encouraging people to look up, to expand their horizons and expect more from themselves, to open to a deeper, richer experience of themselves. At first, it may seem to only be the lure of the impossible that excites us, but soon it becomes a transcendent conviction. That's why you keep coming back. Yes, because we feel it, we know it, we are it. That's the little process happening. It becomes a possible dream. And then suddenly, in that awkward state, it becomes a fulfillment of the law, a fulfillment of the truth, a fulfillment of your being. We are that fulfillment. One of the great dreamers in the Bible was Abraham, considered to be the father of the one God idea. In the search for God, he went on top of a mountain, and there he dreamed a dream. And it was as if a voice called out to him, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, westward, for all the land which thou seest will I giveth thee." This was a great turning point in his life. And in consciousness, this is the turning point in the life of any of us. Look up, away from the shackles of limitation. Look up and behold the greater possibility of life. Look up and let your mind reach and dream. Remember, it is not a miracle of becoming something you're not. It is the awakening to the depth of what you have always been. It is the releasing of your divine potential into your awareness. So let us dream to fully awaken our being. Let us dream to see a world and become a world that is beyond what we see now. The dream isn't out here. The dream is you. You are the dream you dream. And may the awareness and fulfillment of this truth set us all free.